This is all the diesel truck you actually need. I'll include a link to the Murdoch Ford's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my carbine guide. Let's get into it. This is equipped with the standard Powerstroke. It's a 6.7 liter turbo diesel V8 that goes through a 10 speed, puts out 475 horsepower and 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need, folks. The more of you that are subscribed, the more access I get to cars to review for you, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Super Duty stamped into the front here. You can see it's raised there on either side of the hood too. Giant headlights here. Now this does have the halogens. At a similar price point, you can get an STX, which gives you the upgraded headlights if you need those. Fog lights down below with a chrome bumper. We also have recovery points. And this has that classic Work Truck Plus appearance. Tire wheel setup is 275 by 70 by 18. You'll notice you got silver and chrome there for the wheel coloration, kind of the theme of this truck. Ford Super Duties, you can see, have very beefy shocks and suspension, but still have a solid front axle. Got the XLT F-350 badge here on the side, and then you see Powerstroke down below. We also have a bedside step with the truck, a solid rear axle, and leaf springs. And look how big those leaf springs are. And it looks like this is the crew cab with the standard size bed, so it's a 6.75 foot bed if I remember right. When it comes to key fob features, we've got our lock and unlock. You got the flip out key, Ford logo there on the back. And let's now pop into the rear. So it is not dampened, so you have to lower it under your own strength. It's a truck. It does have the tailgate step system as well as a ruler on the tailgate too. This one has all the prep and everything for cargo tie down points and the fifth wheel, and you'll notice that this actually has a bed liner from the factory. Very boxy taillights, and then we also have bumper steps in the rear, and you also get a spare tire underneath the bed. That will cap things off for the exterior. Let's now check out the interior. Soft touch there on the armrest. You got a cup holder there at the end of the door panel and then more storage down below. This is equipped with cloth seats, but they have a nice durable feel to them. Flat loading floor here on the bottom. Good legroom here in the rear. We also have a storage pocket, and then you can see some USB ports and a 12 volt. Headroom in the back is also good. Let's now check out the front. The mirrors are heated, lots of manual adjustment with the mirrors, but you can adjust the larger mirror with power. 4,215 pounds of payload capacity, and then we've got 12,000 pounds for the gross vehicle weight rating. More of that cloth trim here at the front seat. It is manually adjustable, partially manually adjustable, partially power with lumbar support. The passenger seat's all manual with the adjustment. And let's start it up, so just pop out the little key, put in the ignition, old school style. Now this does have more basic trim around the steering wheel, but it's gonna be durable. Controls for the center screen is a very small screen, but on the other side we've got our cruise control, volume and voice command controls. And here is a look at that center screen. Again, this is gonna lend to reliability because you don't have a giant digital screen you have to worry about. This does come with a traditional column shifter, and you've got a manual mode built into it. Backup camera in reverse, good resolution overall. Now this is Ford's normal infotainment UI for their new vehicles. It's just kind of a smaller screen. And above that screen, you got your shortcut for hill descent and the diesel exhaust brake. This does come equipped with trailer brake controls from the factory. And then we've got a part-time four-wheel drive system with a rear locking differential and different drive modes. Analog controls for the radio. We also have our climate controls, just a single zone climate. A couple USBs and a 12 volt below that with a little storage tray. This one's a little bit more old school, I suppose, because we got a bench seat, which I think people like because of the utility of the storage, and then also the fact that you can turn this into an armrest or a seat. Speaking of utility and storage, we do have a double glove box in this, and then just a manual mirror dimmer. Now this F-350 XLT, in total stickers for $72,935. Let's see how this performs. Let us set off in this Super Duty. Man, this hood is massive. I gotta actually scoot the seat up a little bit. Now, I think the STX, a lot of people might go for that one instead of this just because of the blacked out looks. But, you know, I know some of you like the kind of more traditional chrome appearance. So, first off, powertrain, right? I think we can all agree that the high output Powerstroke is epic, not necessary. And, you know, I think that we are, you know, as time goes on, transitioning more and more into a only necessary market with the car market. I'm actually gonna be making a video about the car market pretty soon. But, you know, people used to want to tick every single box, and now it's like, do I really need that? And I think that's a better mentality. If you're like, oh, I gotta have the fully loaded to have the fully loaded, I think, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but I think that the real mentality should be, do I really need that? Right, that's what I always do when I buy a car. Do I really need that? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Now, the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. 1,000 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need. Now the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. Now the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. 1,000 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need. Now the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. 1,000 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need. Now the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. 1,000 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need. Now the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. 1,000 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need. Now the power delivery with the Powerstroke is phenomenal. 1,000 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's all the power you need. Now the power delivery with the Super smooth, and that's the one thing that's nice about the V8 diesels is how smooth they are. Now, this being a 350, right? You guys can probably see I'm bumping around a bit. Yeah, it's leaf sprung in the rear. It's got solid axles front and rear, so it's a bumpier ride. It's not unmanageable by any means, but it's just something to be aware of. And this is unloaded. When you load up leaf sprung trucks, they tend to ride a little bit better than when they are unloaded. And if you're really worried about comfort, the Tremor package I'd say is probably the most comfortable Super Duty. That's why a lot of people get it, right? For the looks and then also the comfort. Man, this thing has so much torque. It's just super quick with the delivery, and like the torque happens really low. I mean, it's a diesel, right? That's what you expect, but like this is phenomenal. Again, I just don't. The high output Powerstroke is cool, but it's like it's overkill big time. Definitely overkill. Yeah, this does feel like a truck though, which I think that's kind of part of the experience, right? Like, you buy a truck because it drives like a truck. You know what I mean? Or at least I think that's what you do, right? It's a big beast, that's for sure. Look at that, it's just like instant. I really wish that diesels were not so hated in the US. Well, they're not hated by the people, it's the government. And the government doesn't actually hate them. Like, put on your tinfoil hats for a moment. The US has the largest, most expensive military on the planet. And do you know what a lot of those military vehicles and ships and everything use? Yeah, that's right, diesel. So my conspiracy, the reason why the US has made it really hard for automakers to build diesels is not because the US cares about the emissions. You know, some people do, but no, I don't think what I think it actually is the US only wants these big trucks because these can do work, and then semi-trucks have diesels. They don't want passenger cars to have diesels because they want that diesel to be available for the ships and the tanks and everything else. Just my 2 cents on that. Everything's built around the military here in the US. That's what I've noticed as the years have gone on. And you know what? That old Ford's looking pretty nice, but this is why you get a new one. You don't end up on the side of the road with something broken. At least he's right next to the Ford dealership, so he's really got a problem. He's not too far from servicing, but that's why you get a new one. You get a warranty. Something happens, you get it towed to the dealership, good to go. So I think that, again, we're shifting in the market where this stuff makes more sense. Something that is more basic, that's all you need and nothing you don't need. You know, the higher end trucks are cool, but I think a lot of people get them just because it's like, oh, well, I can technically afford it, and I like the cooler looks, and I like the features, but then it's like, do you use them? Like, I have vehicles with varying features. For example, one of my vehicles is manual everything. Manual seat, it's the Ineos Grenadier. Stick the key in the ignition. You've got, like, everything's like manual steering wheel. It's got no 360 camera. And what I've discovered, you know, living with that and everything, is I enjoy driving that just as much as I enjoy driving my Land Cruiser that has a 360 camera and air-conditioned seats, keyless entry, right? I can just stick my hand in the door and it unlocks. It's crazy, right? But what I've discovered is, you know, reviewing so many cars over the years and everything, is you don't need all the features. You really, like, it's nice to have them, but they're definitely not a necessity. Like, when I'm in the Grenadier, I don't go, man, I really wish I had cooled seats. Oh man, I really wish that I had keyless entry. It's just like, oh, this is what this vehicle has. It works. It gets me from A to B. Isn't breaking down. It off-roads, you know, does what I need it to do. Let me know your thoughts.